Hi, my name is Scarlett, and I'm an atheist and skeptic, and it's been a minute since I looked at any questions for atheists. I hadn't found any for a while, but today I have a couple of questions from TikTok for atheists. They're not especially new, but I haven't seen them, so what the heck? No more blibbity blab than that. Let's get going.
When talking with atheists, there's a fundamental question you need to ask them. Oftentimes, they are debating whether God exists or not, and you need to ask them this. If God was real, would you believe in him?
I'm not sure what he means by atheists are debating. Does he mean when discussing with theists? Sure, if atheists get on the topic of whether God exists, we'll debate. But I don't tend to debate it with myself. I stopped believing a long time ago, and I'm not questioning it so much. As for if God was real, would I believe in him? I would believe he exists, if that's what you mean. Like, yeah, if anything is real in this hypothetical, I would believe it exists. I mean, pretty dumb.
And their answer is very, very telling. If their answer is, well, okay, if God was real, then yes, I would believe in him. That is a very good sign. That is a sign of a person that is genuinely seeking truth, that is genuinely wanting to see things, and if God was real, they would believe in him because he's real. They're looking for objective truth, they're evaluating the world, and they want to see it.
I don't know what the change of angles deal is. Does that create interest? I find it distracting. Also, the music? What's up with that? Again, does that create interests? I don't like this language of believe in. I might say I believe in abstracts and values, like I believe in the power of people to get stuff done. I believe in living to your fullest. But I don't believe in trees or gravity. We know those things exist. I believe they exist because I know they exist, if you see what I'm saying here. So let's see where he goes with this.
However, if their response to that question is, well, even if God was real, I still wouldn't believe in him or worship him.
Okay, so now I see what he's getting at. We've added the word worship, and I think he's got these two concepts intertwined in his mind. For him, belief necessitates worship, or believing in necessitates worship, which no, it doesn't. I can believe your God exists and not worship him.
That's a sign of a big heart issue.
A heart issue? Like what? Heartburn? Maybe it's something you ate. You might take some medicine. Have you thought to ask why the atheist wouldn't worship your God? Like, maybe they would talk to you about all the genocides in the Bible, or that he sends souls to hell for simply not believing in him during this life where they don't see any evidence for him. I think you have an empathy issue.
I don't believe unicorns exist. It's not something I do. But if unicorns existed, then I would believe in them.
Yeah, but would you worship them? You are fundamentally discussing two different things, but haven't noticed.
If they existed, that's a big keyword. If in a hypothetical world where unicorns existed and I lived in that world, I would believe in unicorns.
Yeah, I don't think anyone missed the hypothetical, but unicorns don't demand prayers and tithing, and they don't send you to hell after you die because you didn't live according to the unicorn holy book.
I was talking to an atheist in my comments, and we were talking a lot back and forth about the reliability of the Bible. Can the virgin birth and resurrection happen scientifically? Things like that. And she said this statement, which was very telling. And again, if God was real and science and the world, it was a world-renowned fact that God existed, I still wouldn't worship him.
Notably, the person didn't say they wouldn't believe, they wouldn't worship. Again, two distinct things.
Christians, a lot of time it is not a lack of evidence that is causing people not to believe. It is because they hate God in their hearts. And we know this because, again, that statement is very telling. Even if God was real, I wouldn't worship him. That shows a heart that hates God, and no matter what evidence is presented, no matter what solid arguments are thrown in front of them, you could prove definitively that God is real and they still would not honor and worship him. That's not a lack of evidence problem. That is not an intellectual problem. That is a sign of someone that does not want to believe in God, no matter what.
It's interesting that this dude doesn't want to explore why the atheist doesn't want to worship God. This is just a gotcha supported by a stupid Bible verse.
So Christians, be careful who you dialogue with. If someone is open and honest and is genuinely seeking truth, that is someone worth engaging. But if they say that statement, why debate them? Why talk to them? Scripture is clear. Do not throw pearls to pigs. Okay, I'm not calling any atheist a pig, but what that verse means is don't spend time wasting debate energy on someone who's not going to even believe in the first place.
It's interesting to me how often theists, and Christians specifically, have to pose the existence of God as a hypothetical, and how often we are asked to believe in as opposed to just know God exists because, there's evidence. I also find it interesting just how certain they are that this religion is a force for good in the world and how they fail to see how much damage Christianity specifically has caused. People have held up God as backing horrible policies and actions. Churches of all stripes have abuse problems. I could go on all day. I could make hours of video about the problems, not just all of the good things that churches have done. The God of the Bible condones slavery and genocide. He kills people for all manner of dumb reasons. God created hell for people who just don't believe in him. You can be a horrible person, but believe in God and you get to paradise. And likewise, you can create a lot of good in the world, but get tortured eternally. So Christians, please ask why atheists might not worship your hypothetically existing God instead of saying, oh, they just have a heart problem. Anyway, we've just talked about hell, so let's move on to the next question, which concerns hell.
Genuine question for atheists. So typically whenever I see y'all critiquing the way that God possibly judges people, and especially whenever it comes to hell, often it's the eternal conscious torment version of hell. But, as I'm sure many of you already know, that's not the only view of hell within Christianity. It never has been historically, and it isn't still to this day. One of the other main Christian views of hell is that of annihilationism, where hell is essentially a place where the people who reject God, the people who God decides to send to hell, go there for a time, and then they're inevitably annihilated, completely removed from existence.
What is the point of going to a place to be annihilated? Why not just be annihilated when the body dies? Why this waste of energy and time? Maybe God doesn't experience energy and time. I don't know. It seems like it should at least be magic energy and magic time. Like, why the effort, God?
So my question is really twofold. One, why is that never the version of hell that is critiqued?
I have heard people question it and critique it, but I think it's not the most common version of hell. Usually we are threatened with burning hellfire. But really, the fact that Christians don't agree on the afterlife is another reason not to take your beliefs seriously. Get your house in order, figure out what this perfect God who communicates perfectly wants, and get back to us. We'll be over here having a good time.
And two, let's say that annihilationism is 100% the way that God chooses to judge. Does that, in your eyes, make him more of a fair judge?
What is it people are being judged on? Just believing in him? So I don't think that's fair. The fairness comes about just punishment for the deeds. Like, this should be an equivalent. If it's just like, you didn't believe, but you didn't do any harm, like, why are you being annihilated? If you have an all-powerful and all-knowing and all-loving God, he already knows what is going to happen and how this all plays out. Why did he bother to create people? Why not just skip to us all being together or whatever? What is the point of this charade of life?
I have no desire for name-calling or pointless arguing. For any atheist that sees this, I genuinely want to know your opinion. Regardless, God bless, my friend.
People's thinking about the afterlife, in my opinion, is indicative of their sense of self-importance. They are somehow special despite not doing anything to merit it. They just have to believe in this all-powerful being, and they get to spend eternity joyously with him. And they're better than some subset of hypothetical others who don't share their belief. Maybe annihilism makes them feel better about it all. It's not that the heathens are being tortured. They just don't exist. So God is just because, he didn't cause all that suffering. Never mind that this life is full of all kinds of suffering, etc., etc. I still just have to ask, what's the point of all of this? It just seems like God could skip to the end, if you know what I'm saying. So that's what I have for you. These two very quirky, interesting questions. It seems like these Christians would do well to spend more time thinking about their own system instead of asking atheists to explain why they don't accept something in their system. But, that's just me. But what did you think about these questions? I'd love to hear what you think, because I can't do it all. I can't cover it all. Put it in the comments below. And while you're down there, you know how to do it all. You've been on YouTube. You know the liking and the subscribing and all the YouTube stuffing. Pour out your libations to Algorithmo that he may give you lots of good YouTube recommendations. Oh, and don't forget his consort, Algorithma. She also helps out. She also provides some recommendations and ads, because of course. And if you like what I do, you can buy me a coffee. Here are my cute kitties thinking you're buying me some kibble, or giving them money for some kibble or something. They think that's kibbled on the way, and they're always hungry. And thank you if you have given me a coffee. I do buy the coffee. I like coffee. I have coffee every morning, and it is much appreciated. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody who's bought me a coffee. Not sure what's next. I don't know when it will be, but it's going to be stupid. Bye for now.